For thousands of years, the rocky lands around the Aegean Sea were home to small farming villages. But from these scattered communities would rise one of the most influential civilizations in human history. This is the entire history of ancient Greece. Long before Athens and Sparta, there were the Minoans. Around 1000 BCE, on the island of Crete, the Minoans built advanced cities like Knossos. They developed complex art, massive palaces, and thriving trade networks across the Mediterranean. Then came the Mycenaeans on mainland Greece. They were warriors. They built fortified cities like Mycenae and fought legendary conflicts later remembered in stories like the Trojan War. Around 1100 BCE, Mycenaean civilization collapsed. Greece entered a period known as the Dark Age. Writing disappeared. Large cities vanished. For centuries, little is recorded, but Greece did not stay dark forever. By the 800s BCE, small independent city-states, called poleis, began to emerge. Each city-state had its own government, laws, an army. Two would become the most famous, Athens and Sparta. Athens developed something revolutionary: democracy. Citizens could vote on laws and decisions. It wasn't perfect. Women, enslaved people, and foreigners could not vote. But it was a radical political experiment that would echo through history. Sparta chose a different path. It became a militarized society. Spartan boys were trained from childhood to become soldiers, discipline and strength defined their culture. In the 500s BCE, a powerful empire rose to the east, the Persian Empire. It began conquering Greek cities in Asia Minor. Eventually, Persia invaded mainland Greece. Against overwhelming odds, the Greek city-states united. At Marathon, a smaller Athenian force defeated a Persian army. At Thermopylae, a small Spartan force made a legendary last stand. And at Salamis, the Greek navy destroyed the Persian fleet. The Greeks had survived. This victory sparked a golden age, especially in Athens. The 400s BCE saw an explosion of culture, philosophy, and art. Thinkers like Socrates questioned everything. Plato and Aristotle laid foundations for Western philosophy. Playwrights created dramas still performed today. Architects built the Parthenon. But unity didn't last. Athens and Sparta turned against each other in the Peloponnesian War. After nearly 30 years of brutal conflict, Sparta emerged victorious, but Greece was weakened and divided. That division opened the door for a new power from the north, Macedon. In 336 BCE, a young king named Alexander took the throne. History would remember him as Alexander the Great. Within just over a decade, Alexander conquered the Persian Empire, Egypt, and lands stretching all the way to India. He created one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. When Alexander died at just 32 years old, his empire fractured. But Greek culture did not disappear. Instead, it spread across the eastern Mediterranean and Middle East in what became known as the Hellenistic Age. Greek language, science, art, and philosophy blended with other cultures. Cities like Alexandria became centers of learning. Greek ideas influenced mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and political thought. Eventually, Greece itself fell under Roman control in the 2nd century BCE. But even as Rome conquered Greece, it adopted much of Greek culture in many ways. Greece conquered Rome culturally. Ancient Greek philosophy shaped Western education. Greek political ideas influenced modern democracies. Greek art and architecture still define beauty and proportion. The Olympic Games began in Greece. Even the word democracy comes from Greek, from small city-states on rocky hillsides to an intellectual legacy that still shapes the modern world. Ancient Greece's impact is enormous. That is the entire history of ancient Greece.